And if you're sitting there right now and can't come up with an experience like that in your life recently, you get the idea. B, here, we're to evaluate God. The people here of Israel evaluated God. They were out there testing and trying God for 40 years. Basically, they were evaluating God. And God, at the end of it, says this: they've not known my ways. Israel developed a mentality with God of, what have you done for me lately? Yeah, I know what it is before, but what do you got for me now? And you know, even what you're doing now is not good enough. I ran into a pastor a few years ago. Do you like little old pastors? About this big? Okay. Well, this is not funny. That's what the guy was, all right?
A little taller.
Okay, yeah. No, just not this size, okay? Little old pastor, about 85 years of age. Just want you to picture that. Kind of giggled at himself a lot. Gee, I think this is where I'm headed, and I just hate this, all right? Giggle at myself. All right. And he'd walk on, and he'd go like this. What are you thinking of? He'd go, oh, nothing. But he was thinking of something. And this is the way the guy lived, and he helped us out in the church back in Ohio. In fact, he actually used to be pastor of the church back in Ohio, him and his son. So anyway, the point of the matter was this. I got to know him very well. Actually, did his funeral when he died at 90-something. Not the point. The point of the matter was this. As I got to know him, he would sit with me in my office. He had not much to do. Did I tell you he was a little old guy? Okay. And as I got to know him, I realized the depth of this guy. You know what he was doing? Found out a little bit from him, asked his wife about it later. He said, I got to go home and write in my notebook. I'm thinking, okay, what is that? Is that a euphemistic expression for going home to get your afternoon nip? What are you talking about here? I got to go home and write in my notebook. And lo and behold, I come to find out, well, he didn't have a computer. He wouldn't do that. He didn't do any of that kind of stuff electronically, hardly watch TV. But as he would go home, he'd have time, because did I not say he was an 85-year-old short pastor? Okay, that's what he did. And he'd go home and he'd sit and he'd take out a spiral-bound notebook. And according to what his wife told me, he didn't have a dozen of them. He had dozens upon dozens upon dozens piled up, because for many years, you know what he was doing? He was sitting, and as he would study Scripture, he would write out. He would write out what God had done for him. And I'm like, really? Do you know when he died, I heard that his grandkids and great-grandkids hustled to take those notebooks because they weren't going to get rid of them. And I hear there were boxes of them that he had filled out for over 40 years of just writing out stuff he learned from the Scripture and how it related to him and what God had done for him. And he kept writing stuff out. And I thought to myself, that's pretty cool. I like that. I should be doing something like that so my great-grandkids get something. Get the idea? Great challenge. Great thing for you to do is to look at the Scriptures and realize what God has done for you. I've got our Friday night study is in Revelation. You read through Revelation, you look at the stuff that's coming, and you go like this, wow, you got to be kidding me. That's the stuff you're going to do for me? That's how you're going to be? You're coming back strong on the horse, and you're doing this and doing this? Yeah. And you know what? That could go in my notebook. God's doing this for me, even now the plans are made. It's exciting stuff. The reality is, I evaluate God on a constant basis. I evaluate His track record with me. Where has He let you down? Where has He left you lonely? Where has He hung you out to dry? Where has He made you look like a fool? Where has He laughed at you? You get the idea. He's the one that's been on your side. You want to get overwhelmed by something? Just start writing in your little notebook, if you start one, about the love of God and what that means for you to be the object of that kind of love. That's overwhelming. I want to be loved.